हेलो एवरीवन, ए वेरी गुड इवनिंग ऑल ऑफ यू। कैसे हैं सब लोग? व्हाट्सअप? प्लीज गाइस डू जॉइन मी फास्ट। वी आर अबाउट टू स्टार्ट आवर सेशन फॉर द सब्जेक्ट हीट एंड मास ट्रांसफर। But before I start my session, please do let me know if my audio and visual quality all are fine or not. Please do let me know through the comment section, those who are watching me live, if you are able to hear me properly, if you are able to see me properly. So this series we are bringing for those aspirants, those students who are preparing for GATE examination, and this is the free series which is running on BYJU'S YouTube channel for GATE 2023 preparation. And so I will be going to start the subject which is very simple, highly scoring, very interesting, that is heat transfer. So today's session will all about the basic or the importance of the subject heat transfer. We will talk about the sources from where we can study, from where we can prepare to get maximum score in our GATE examination, and how we can study. Hi Jeevan, good evening, welcome. Please guys do join me fast so that we can start. So today's session is all about the importance of the subject in GATE examination. Before I proceed further, let me quickly introduce myself. Most of the students already know about me, but for them who are meeting me for the first time, this is my brief introduction on the screen. I am mechanical engineering graduate from IIT Delhi. And my name is Chandrashekhar. I have qualified engineering services examination also, and I have worked in SAIL previously. But from last 10 years, I am completely into teaching, guiding the students who are preparing for various competitive examination, and I am quite comfortable in fluid mechanics, heat transfer, thermodynamics, as well as industrial engineering. All right, and you can join me through the Telegram group. You can contact me through the mail ID which is there on the screen, and you can always join me on the Telegram. That is Mechanical by Chandrashekhar Sir. The link is there on the screen. Once you join me on the Telegram, you will get all the notifications, all the updates of my free lectures which I take from time to time for the students' benefit, as well as I will provide you the PDF of all the sessions, and I will help you out with your doubts resolution as well. So it will be helpful for you if you are preparing for GATE or IES or any other PSU examination. You should be part of my Telegram group so that we can have more interaction, more positive interaction, so that it will help you to crack your respective competitive examination. Along with the free sessions, BYJU'S also provide the paid courses. And once you join us through the paid course, you will be getting all the live classes, completing the covering the entire syllabus for GATE and ESE, as well as you will be provided with the study notes, and you will be provided with the workbooks and the test series as well. So everything will be provided by us if you become part of our paid courses, and we have proved our quality by producing all India single digit ranks in current GATE examination, GATE 2022 examination. So you can be part of our paid courses as well. All right. So shall we start? Start karen. But it is my humble request to everyone, those who are watching me live, please do like and share this session, and do not forget to subscribe our BYJU'S YouTube channel. Once you subscribe our channel, you will automatically getting the notifications of all the sessions which we bring on our YouTube platform free of cost for your benefit. All right, chaliye, let us start with the basic thing about the heat transfer. What is heat transfer? Can you just let me know? What do you understand by the heat transfer? There is a question on the screen. Please do let me know your understanding about the heat transfer. The question says, the heat transfer takes place according to which law of thermodynamics? Is it zeroth law, first law, second law or third law of thermodynamics. Please share your knowledge, please share your information. It will help you to improve yourself further and further. So I am expecting the answer from each one of you who is watching this session. Jeevan, have you prepared through the being part of BYJU'S Institute, or you have done the self-study? If you have already done your done with your coaching, then you do not have to you do not have to sit and prepare for GATE examination. You can prepare for the GATE examination along with your job as well, right? So it is yes, you can join. You are joining MTech machine design. Yes, it is fine. You can join NIT for your MTech, and parallelly you can prepare for GATE examination and appear for the next GATE examination. Yes, the heat transfer is according to. Let me tell you, most of the students get the incorrect answer for this question. So many students think that because it is the heat transfer and heat is related with zeroth law of thermodynamics. Zeroth law talks about the temperature of the system. So most of the students think that it is A, but the correct answer to the question is option C. It is the second law of thermodynamics which gives the understanding or which gives the direction to the heat transfer. More specifically, it is the Clausius statement of second law of thermodynamics. Second law is made up of two statements, Kelvin Planck and Clausius. It is the Clausius statement of second law of thermodynamics which gives us the information that heat always flow from high temperature to low temperature region, isn't it? Hi RPS Inspired, good evening, welcome everyone once again from the bottom of my heart. So what exactly is the heat transfer? Do you know about the caloric theory? Anybody is having any idea about caloric theory? Anyone having any idea about caloric theory? So according to Clausius statement, the energy transfer, what is heat transfer? It is nothing but the energy transfer. Heat is nothing but energy in transit. So the energy transfer due to temperature difference. Whenever there is a temperature difference, the energy transfer will take place in the form of heat, and that is known as heat transfer. And the heat transfer always flow from high temperature to low temperature region. That is Clausius statement of second law of thermodynamics. What was the exact statement of Clausius? What was the exact sentence for the Clausius statement? According to Clausius statement, it is impossible to construct a cyclic device where heat flows from low temperature to high temperature without any external support, without any external work. So indirectly we can say heat always flow from high temperature to low temperature without any external work, without any external support, without any external help. So according to caloric theory, anybody is having any idea about caloric theory? In the early 19th century, the heat was thought of an invisible fluid. It was assumed to be an fluid-like substance, invisible fluid-like substance, without which is massless, tasteless, colorless, odorless. And people used to think that this invisible fluid always flow from warmer body to the cooler body. Then with the experimental observation, with the analysis, people had realized that heat is not the fluid, it is not fluid-like substance, it is the energy which is in transition from high temperature to low temperature. It is the energy which is in motion from high temperature to low temperature, that is called as heat transfer. And if you had studied the thermodynamics, you must have studied the energy is defined in two ways. One is the energy which is stored in the system, energy content of the system. That is the property like internal energy or enthalpy. That is the property of the system. Hi Chandan, good evening, welcome. क्या हाल चाल? चंदन आते ही अब बोलेंगे सर हिंदी में बात कर कीजिए. सब बढ़िया, सब खैरियत. आई होप एवरीवन इज सेफ एंड साउंड. ये भी बताएंगे Ash, be there throughout the session. Everybody, I want everyone to be there throughout the session. I will discuss the preparation strategy. I will discuss about the importance of the subject in GATE and what will be the source of study, best source of study for heat transfer. So stay till the end of the session. So the energy is divided into two parts. One is the energy content, that is the property, and the another form of energy is in motion, and that is divided into heat and work. The energy in motion due to temperature difference is called as heat, and all the other form of energy transfer are treated as work. Like when electrical energy is getting transferred from system to surrounding, then it is called as electrical work. When mechanical energy is getting transferred from system to surrounding or surrounding to system, that is called as mechanical work. So all the form of energy transfer which is taking place due to temperature difference is known as heat transfer. So if the heat transfer is already defined or already explained by the concept of thermodynamics, why there is a need of having a separate subject as the heat transfer? What is the difference between thermodynamics and heat transfer then? Any idea? Anybody is having any idea what is the difference between thermodynamics and heat transfer? I will quickly discuss about these basic things, because whenever you are preparing for any subject, understanding the importance of that subject is very much important. So many students start preparing for the subject, but they even don't know why we are preparing this as a separate subject, why it is not part of the thermodynamics, what exactly we are going to cover in this subject, why it is important for the examination as well as for the real life situation. So if you are convenient with those questions, if you are comfortable or if you are satisfied with the answer for these type of questions, then it will automatically develop the interest in the subject. And that is why I am giving you the basic idea of the difference between the thermodynamics, which is the basic fundamental subject of mechanical engineering, as well as the heat transfer, that is again important subject of mechanical engineering. So the thermodynamics, the problem with the thermodynamics is it is only dealing with the systems which are in thermodynamic equilibrium. But the heat transfer comes into picture when there is a temperature difference. Whenever there is a temperature difference between system and surrounding, the energy transfer will take place in the form of heat, and then the subject will enter. So we can say if T1 is not equal to T2, that is not in thermal equilibrium. The second difference is, in thermodynamics, we do not talk about the time. Time is not a variable. But in heat transfer, we always talk about the importance of time. Time is denoted by tau in heat transfer. We will be using the notation tau for time because the temperature is denoted by T. T is for temperature. So tau will be used for, yes. The most important difference between thermodynamics and heat transfer. Thermodynamics, the concept of thermodynamics, all the laws of thermodynamics are valid, applicable only to the system which is in thermodynamic equilibrium. What makes the system to be in thermodynamic equilibrium? The system has to be in mechanical equilibrium, the system has to be in chemical equilibrium, as well as the system has to be in thermal equilibrium with its surrounding. So whenever the system is in thermal equilibrium, then the thermodynamic comes into picture. When the system is not in thermodynamic equilibrium or thermal equilibrium, then the heat transfer comes into picture. So the thermodynamics always gives us the understanding of the energy, total amount of energy transfer when a system moves from one equilibrium state to another equilibrium state. When the system goes from one equilibrium to another equilibrium state, then how much is the energy transfer taking place? Total amount of energy transfer denoted by capital Q, which is having the unit joule or kilojoule. Whereas the heat transfer talks about the rate of energy transfer. Mostly in heat transfer, we talk about the rate at which the energy transfer is taking place due to temperature difference, that is denoted by small q, or some people also use the notation q dot. The unit is joule or joule per second or watt. Can anybody let me know the dimensional formula for this rate of heat transfer? Can anybody let me know the dimensional formula? No, heat is not the form of energy. Heat is always termed as the energy in transit, energy in motion. That is called as heat. Heat is not a form of energy. It is not like electrical energy. The form of energy is internal energy. The form of energy is enthalpy. They are form of energy. The energy content of the system is the property. Energy is the property, but the energy is in motion is not a property. Heat and work are not properties. Heat and work are not energy. We can say they are the energy in motion. When there is a motion of the energy, then we can define them either to be heat or work, depending on the way how the energy transfer is taking place. All right. What was my question? My question was, what is the dimensional formula for rate of heat transfer, that is joule per second or watt? Can you let me know the dimensional formula? And what are the various modes of heat transfer? Now in heat transfer, what we talk about, whenever there is a temperature difference between two systems, two bodies, or system and surrounding, whenever there is a temperature difference, the heat will flow from high temperature to low temperature, and there are various modes of heat transfer. What are they? What are the various modes of heat transfer? The various modes of heat transfer are conduction, convection, and radiation. So heat transfer is, the subject of heat transfer is all about these three modes of heat transfer analysis in detail. What is the difference between these modes of heat transfer? Any idea? So throughout the heat transfer subject, we only deal with these three modes of heat transfer: conduction, convection, and radiation. But are you guys comfortable with the difference between these modes of heat transfer? Can you just let me know, when does the conduction mode of heat transfer takes place, when there is convection, when there is radiation? So I am giving you the brief idea about what we are going to study in the subject. We only talk about these three modes of heat transfer in the subject: conduction, convection, and radiation. And the which mode of heat transfer will going to be appearing will decided by the medium. If there is a temperature T1, if there is a temperature T2, and the region between T1 and T2 is separated by some medium. Depending on the medium, if the medium is stationary, the mode of heat transfer taking place will be conduction. If the medium is in motion, if there is a relative motion between the particles of the medium, then the mode of heat transfer will be convection, when the medium is dynamic. Solids is the example. The definition or the prerequisite or the condition for conduction to happen is the medium has to be stationary. Sairam, solids, conduction will only be in solid. That is incorrect to say. Is the statement correct? In solid, the mode of heat transfer will only be conduction. Is the statement correct? Yes, aspirant, that is correct. Radiation does not require a medium to have the heat transfer, but conduction and convection definitely requires a medium to have the heat transfer. And if the medium is stationary, the mode of heat transfer will be conduction. If the medium is dynamic, the mode of heat transfer will be convection. And if there is no medium, the only mode of heat transfer will be radiation. So we can say radiation is next to God. We can comfortably say radiation is next to God, because radiation is everywhere. Like God is everywhere, radiation is also everywhere. Whether there is a medium or not, radiation will be present. And the next difference between conduction, convection, and radiation is conduction is internal phenomena. It takes place inside the solid, or when there are two solids must be having the physical contact. That is why it is called as internal phenomena. It is taking place inside the medium. So we cannot visualize it. Conduction cannot be visualized because it is an internal phenomena. Whereas convection is a surface phenomena. Radiation is also a surface phenomena. Thermal radiation is also a surface phenomena. Thermal radiation can also be treated as surface phenomena. Because why do we call it a surface phenomena? When a surface is in contact with the fluid at a different temperature, the mode of heat transfer will be convection. Convection takes place in the fluid. When there is a surface where the fluid is kept, the heat transfer will be taking place from the fluid to the surface or from the surface to the fluid, depending on which temperature is higher. So that is why it is called a surface phenomena. We can visualize, we can see the convection to happen with our naked eye, because it is having the relative motion. It will having the motion in the fluid. And the radiation is treated to be the wave phenomena. According to Maxwell theory, the radiation occurs in the form of waves which are characterized by their wavelength. Yes. Yes, RPS inspired. When there is no medium, if there is a vacuum, then the distance does not matter. The distance does not matter for radiation if there is a vacuum. But if there is a medium, then the medium property will decide whether how much the thickness of the medium is going to affect the radiation mode of heat transfer. But in vacuum, because radiation can occur in vacuum as well. So if there is a vacuum between two bodies, then it does not matter whether the bodies are near to each other or far away from each other. Is it clear? So the distance between the distance between the two bodies is not important when there is a vacuum between the two bodies. And the conduction is also called as microscopic process. Why it is microscopic process? Because the molecules, atoms, or the electrons are responsible for energy transfer due to conduction. So that is why it is a microscopic phenomena, and that is why I told you that we cannot visualize the conduction to happen with our naked eyes. We can only feel the conduction to happen, but we cannot visualize with the naked eyes. Whereas the convection is a macroscopic phenomena, bulk phenomena, where we can see the particles of the fluid to be moving from high temperature towards the low temperature region. Whenever you boil water in a container, you can see the water particles to be circulating. That is why it is called as bulk phenomena. Whereas radiation is electromagnetic wave phenomena. The radiation occurs in the form of electromagnetic waves due to change in electronic configuration of atoms, molecules, or subatomic particles. And as somebody told, that the conduction is diffusion of energy. The energy from high temperature source is getting diffused towards the low temperature region. So for energy diffusion to take place, there must be temperature gradient. For the conduction to take place, there are fine. Is it fine now? Hello guys, can you guys hear me? Yes. Okay, so guys, let us continue. And the electromagnetic waves travel in a straight line. So today's so this series is all about the radiation. we are going to discuss the radiation in detail in this series. I will be having around 6 to 7 classes to complete the radiation. Because of the network problem, there is some network problem at my end. So apologies for the inconvenience caused, guys. Now I hope it is fine. These are the various topics in the subject. These are the various topics. The conduction. So what we study in the heat transfer, the conduction in detail, steady state conduction as well as the unsteady state conduction. Do you know what is steady state conduction? What is steady state conduction? What is unsteady state conduction? Definitely, Jeevan, we will cover conduction also. But definitely I will be covering the entire radiation, everything about the radiation from tomorrow onwards. The timing is 7 o'clock. Today is the general understanding about the subject heat transfer. From tomorrow onwards, we will start with the basics of radiation. Then we will talk about the shape factor, which is important concept. And then we will talk about the analysis of the radiation as well as the radiation shield. All right. So bring your friends, more and more number of students will join. Then it will be great to have the session in the best possible way. So the majorly, as I have told you, the majorly we are discussing the conduction, then convection and the radiation. Along with that, the heat exchanger is also going to be discussed on. This is the part of your syllabus of heat transfer. This is the syllabus for GATE examination. Steady state means when the temperature does not change with time. The conduction is in steady state. The system is in steady state when the temperature is not a function of time. And the system is in unsteady state when the temperature becomes a function of time. When time is a variable parameter, then it becomes the unsteady state. When time is not a variable parameter, when the parameters does not change with time, then it is called as steady state. All right. So the most important and the most lengthy topic of heat transfer is the conduction, where we cover the steady state, unsteady state, as well as the various methods to increase the rate of heat transfer. Now, this is my entire schedule. I will be with you from tomorrow onwards till 21st May. You can take the screenshot of the schedule. Every day at 7 p.m. we will be meeting for completing the radiation, thermal radiation, and then in the last session we are going to have the Menti quiz or Menti war for theory of machines as well as heat transfer. I hope the theory of machine has already been covered, or some part of theory of machine had been covered by Dheeraj Sir. So me and Dheeraj Sir will be taking the Menti war on Saturday at 11 a.m. So guys, prepare thoroughly for, and the topic will be radiation only, because I am going to cover the radiation only in this series. Now let us move further. The question comes to every student's mind is, from where we need to study the subject. What should be the best reference book for the subject? Let me tell you the meaning of the reference book. The importance of the reference book is not to cover the entire syllabus. Why? Because there are 10 to 12 subjects in whole mechanical engineering, and if you will start preparing each and every subject from one reference book, then the 7-8 months cannot be sufficient to cover the entire syllabus, because your objective has to be to crack the GATE examination. You do not have to get into the research area. Right now the top priority should be to crack the GATE examination with the best possible rank. So that is why you should prepare yourself thoroughly, or you should prepare yourself judiciously, keeping in mind the duration which you are having. So the reference books are not at all advisable to prepare the entire subject. Rather, you should arrange the notes for the GATE in today's in today's scenario, the notes are easily available from various institutes. If you are not part of any institute, you can borrow from some institute. You can purchase from some institute the notes, or you can borrow from your seniors. The notes are very important. Either you prepare on your own, that is the best thing, and if you are not able to prepare on your own, then you should arrange the notes from some institute, from your seniors who had prepared for GATE examination. And the reference books are only for preparing those areas which you are not able to prepare from the notes. Or if you want more elaborative explanation for a particular topic, if you need more examples, more real life examples for a particular topic, then you can refer the reference book. And in my opinion, the book written by Yunus A. Sengel is the masterpiece for heat transfer. Very good book, very beautifully written, but I would not force you to keep the heat, that book written by Yunus A. Sengel only. Why? Because each and every book is containing the same content. The only difference is the way of representation, way of presentation. So if you like, first of all, go through that book, Sengel, and if you like that book, if you feel reading that book, if you feel positive about that book, then only you purchase and keep it as a reference book. Otherwise, J.P. Holman is also a great book. There are so many other books like D.S. Kumar, Dow Kundwar. There are so many books. Every book is having the same content. So if you like the book, then only you should purchase it. Otherwise, there is no point in wasting your money in having that particular book, right? So the reference book are only useful to refer some selective topics where you are not comfortable with the notes. When you need more examples, more explanation, then you can refer those books. Otherwise, you should prepare for your examination through the handwritten notes only. Now, the next question is why we are giving heat transfer so much importance. Why the subject of heat transfer is so important? There are three reasons I find the heat transfer to be very important. The first reason, the first point is because the subject is very simple, highly scoring. So you cannot take a chance of skipping this subject in GATE like examination, in the competitive examination like GATE. Because if you are not comfortable with the tough subjects, still you can be in the race or you can be in the competition. But if you are not able to perform very well in the subject which are easy for all, then you will definitely be thrown out of the competition. That makes the subject very important because it is highly scoring. Easily, average students score the 100% in heat transfer. That is one reason. The second reason is heat transfer is one of the fundamental subject of mechanical engineering. Without understanding of heat transfer, the mechanical engineering is not complete. It is the basic subject, fundamental subject. It is having unlimited practical applications as well in and around you. The human comfort is also related with the heat transfer. Even the chef, good chef, should have the understanding principle of heat transfer. So we are having heat transfer everywhere around us. So that makes the subject important for interview point of view as well as because of the weightage in GATE examination. That makes the subject important for written examination. You can see in 2022, this year only, the heat transfer had created the history in GATE examination by having one of the highest marks in GATE 2022 paper. That makes the subject very important. And in 2019 also, it was having the very good weightage. So generally heat transfer is getting increase in the weightage in the in the GATE examination. That makes the subject very important. Generally, the GATE is having around 8 to 10% from heat transfer, and because the subject is very simple, it is very highly scoring. That is why you cannot take a chance of leaving this subject. These are the topics. I have written the topics also in front of each and every year from where the questions were framed. These are the important topics from where the questions were asked in GATE examination. So you should prepare those topics first with more priority, with more importance, and then the remaining topics can be further revised. And the last question, after understanding the importance of the subject, after understanding the source of preparation, we need to understand what should be the ideal preparation strategy for this subject. Let me tell you first, no strategy is perfect unless it is executed perfectly. So by having my opinion will not help unless you execute it with your full dedication, with your full motivation. So as I told you, the heat transfer is the fundamental subject, but the heat transfer is actually the extension of fluid mechanics and thermodynamics. So when you are going to prepare the subject heat transfer, you should prepare the thermodynamics as well as fluid mechanics first. Once you are comfortable with the thermodynamics and fluid mechanics, then you should start preparing for heat transfer. That is one thing. The second thing is, because the subject is mathematical, the complete subject is mathematical. So you need to practice a lot of numericals from the very beginning to get yourself comfortable with the concept. By reading the theory again and again will not be going to help you out. You need to start practicing the numericals. Initially, you may not be able to solve each and every numerical correctly, but once you become comfortable with the concept, you will automatically develop the confidence, you will automatically develop the application approach, then you will be able to solve the numericals correctly. And first you should see the previous year question paper. What is the difficulty level from the topics that you need to understand? And once you get the understanding about the difficulty level of GATE examination, then you can start solving the numericals, which are very easy to boost your confidence. Then gradually you should increase the difficulty level for solving the questions, and your question level should be the having the ultimate difficulty level as that of actual GATE examination. That is how it works, starting from the basic, the simple questions, then gradually increase the difficulty level, and do not solve the numericals which are having the difficulty level more than the GATE examination, because it is the final objective for you to crack the GATE only. So the subject can be completed in around 60 hours. You can complete the whole subject in around 60 to 65 hours. And as I told you, the various topics are conduction, then convection, and then radiation. And other than that, there is a heat exchanger. These are the major topics. Conduction involves the steady state, unsteady state. It also involves the combined modes of heat transfer with composite system, combined modes plus composite system. These are the various topics. Composite, that is about the circuit diagram, electrical analogy, how to analyze the composite system involving combined modes of heat transfer using the electrical analogy. And then other than that, the methods to increase the heat transfer rate. The various methods to increase the heat transfer rate. One is the insulation method, another is the fin theory. So that covers the entire conduction portion. So as you can see, conduction covers more than 60% of your entire syllabus. So that is why it requires at least 25 to 30 hours of preparation period. The conduction will require around 25 to 30 hours of preparation period, and the convection is having two subtopics. One is free and another is forced convection. So the convection will require around 15 hours. You can divide 8 and 7, or the convection will require around 15 hours. The radiation involves the basics, then radiation laws and radiation analysis using the circuit diagram, that also require around 15 hours. Convection and radiation will be completed in around 15 hours, and the heat exchanger is relatively smaller topic, then 8 to 10 hours will be sufficient to cover all the topics of heat exchanger. But you should always, that is how your preparation should be. So first of all, you should start your preparation with the conduction. Conduction is very, very important and covers more major portion of the syllabus. So once you complete conduction, then you can prepare for convection, then you can go for radiation or the heat exchanger as per your comfort. So that is how it should be completed, and do not forget to practice the numericals as many as possible. All right. So that is all from my side. Tomorrow I will be meeting you guys again. Tomorrow I will be meeting you guys again at the same time, that is 7 o'clock on this platform. But I am giving you the assignment. List all the important subtopics of heat transfer which were appeared in previous 10 years GATE papers. Once you will have the list of all the important subtopics, then you will be able to plan your strategy accordingly to cover all the topics, because the topics which have been covered in the last 10 years, the questions will be going to appear in GATE 2023 from those topics only. The questions never get repeated, but the topics always get repeated in each and every paper. And other than that, please have a quick revision about the basics of radiation before coming to the next class. So tomorrow I will be starting with radiation basics at 7 p.m. So do join me, and do not forget to subscribe this BYJU'S YouTube channel, and do not forget to be part of my Telegram group. With this note, with this motivational saying, let me take your leave. See you tomorrow sharp at 7. If anybody is having anything to ask, I will be very happy to assist you. And let me tell you once again, I will be covering the entire thermal radiation starting from tomorrow onwards, and then we will be having the Menti quiz in the last to check your understanding about the topic thermal radiation. That is all from my side. Stay safe, stay motivated, keep preparing. The hard work is the only key to success. That is all from my end. See you tomorrow. Thank you guys. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being part of this session. And I hope you have enjoyed and you are fully charged up to see me again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Thank you. Good night. Jai Hind.